All right, I am here with my good buddy Greg from Qgenda. He's the CEO, famous, infamous, I don't know which way I want to go with that here in Atlanta, but everyone knows who he is, and he has taken a few minutes with us today to talk about company culture, which we appreciate.
Very excited to be here.
Thank you, Greg. I appreciate it. So Greg and I met each other, I don't know, what, 3 years ago?
Yeah, maybe more. Best 3 years ever.
So I helped him buy TechRise a while back, and I remember negotiating part of it at the beach.
Yes.
Yes, with you telling me things that where I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? Like, I want 5 minutes with my family at the beach. And Greg's like, what are you doing right now? Drinking a Mai Tai.
It was very important that, we moved quickly.
It was. But we're here to talk about company culture. So Greg has an amazing one here at Qgenda. So I just kind of want to know in your words, like, describe a great company culture.
Yeah, I think the company culture, it's definitely one of the most important parts of controlling the competitive landscape when you're going out there. There's not a lot of things as, the CEO or leader in a business that you can literally put all of your effort into and see the reward pretty instantly. And for me, company culture is just one of those things that if you really focus on it, and you think about it holistically, where it's part of the office space, that's a big part of it. Is what is the office space? Are people proud of the office space? On the weekends, do people bring their parents in to show them the office space? Happens here every weekend.
Does it really?
All the time.
That's awesome.
Stop in any Saturday and Sunday, and you almost will always find a new hire or somebody here showing their parents, where they work. Show them the office space. That's really
cool.
So look, I think it really starts with that, and then I think there's what we call fluffy benefits. So this is snacks and free lunches and flex time and things like that people really have come to love. They really it empowers them to have a high satisfaction in their everyday life. And then the last one is just promoting their career. If you really truly want them to be better than they were when they first started, when they eventually maybe move on to that next step in their career, that's got to be a big part of your culture. And so if you think about it holistically, in that sense, we've had great success.
Yeah. I remember when we met 3 years ago, you talked about the lunches that you guys do here and you provide for free and get catered. And you said to me, companies that eat together stay together.
So true.
And I think that's really cool. And we've told a lot of the companies we work with that too. Like, hey, Greg, one of the things he does is he caters for people and they love it and they come in. And I mean,
it's the quickest way to kind of collaborate among each other and bring the different parts of the company together. Eventually when the company grows and you have some maybe other folks from another department on a different floor, or you've got another growing area, and so not everybody is necessarily within, call it, a stone's throw of each other. It's a great time for people from another department or another floor in the building to come up and eat together and share ideas and talk about customers, talk about things they're doing, talk about what are they up to this weekend. It's incredible because most of the employees at Qgenda are they're definitely workmates, but they're also best friends outside of work.
Which is awesome.
It's huge.
The other thing I'd say too, which you guys have done a really good job of, when a company's like transcend size, a lot of people say the culture just kind of takes on whatever the culture is of the person of the CEO, right? Yes. Like my energy is kind of the culture, and we're getting bigger and getting past that. But you've been able to have that, and now you've gone well beyond that. I mean, you guys are what? How many employees now?
About 300 employees.
Yeah, but you still have an amazing culture, and I think a lot of it has to do with the environment you guys have created here, which kind of leads me into the next question: is in your opinion, how does the office environment play into that culture?
Yeah, I think as long as a company knows what they want to be defined as, and that may evolve over time. I think that's naturally going to happen to any business. But when you think about like Qgenda, one of the biggest things that we pride ourselves on here is collaboration. We want to really collaborate with customers, with each other, and just really figure out like the best way to solve whatever problem it is that we're trying to solve. And so we wanted to make sure an office space that empowers them to collaborate and work together in a way is a number one thing in how we lay out every little space in the office. There's quick huddle rooms, there's desks where I can just turn around and I'm talking to another person on my team. Every single furniture placement, every wall, every desk, every single piece of space is really thought out, with collaboration being the number one item. And I think we're seeing that in the workplace.
Yes, and I think more and more people are moving to that, which is great. And frankly, it's fun for us to work with people that do that. Which kind of leads me into the TechRise. You bought 3405 Piedmont, you named it TechRise, you've been renovating it now for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
And it looks amazing. I mean, you took a very old, tired building and
most people didn't know it was there.
They didn't know it was there.
They've driven by it hundreds of thousands of times, didn't even know there was a building there.
So my wife actually worked there for 10 years, and I took her by today, and she walked in, she's like, this is not even the same building. It doesn't even look the same. And I go, well, I think that's kind of what they were going for.
that was good. I'm glad that came
That
through.
was the first thing she said. She's like, this doesn't even look the same. Like, it's not even the same building. But tell people, and I'm always, I love this story, but tell people why you did TechRise.
Yeah, it's it's interesting because our first real office space at Qgenda was in the Ravinia building right across from Perimeter Mall, and we loved it. We moved in. It was a spec space, 2,500 square feet. We were literally doing cartwheels down the hallway because we were like, we're set for a decade.
We'll never grow into this.
This is amazing. We have so much room. And so this was 2009, September of 2009, and so we moved in there, and literally maybe 12 months later, we had outgrown the space we were in. We needed more room, and so this is apparently very common. This is not just our problem. I think a bunch of startups are having that problem, and so it was kind of burned in my head that there isn't somewhere very flexible for people to go to if they have a fast-growing business. I really didn't have any business signing a 4-year lease for 2,500 square feet at the time. I shouldn't have done that.
You shouldn't have done it.
But there weren't a ton of options.
Right.
And then expanding in the building, it was hard because the landlord, they worked with us. They helped
Very
us.
PC of you.
But they knew what they had. They knew we were in there for 4 years. They knew we had no chance of going anywhere else.
Yeah.
And
you were kind of stuck. Not that you're stuck, but you're kind of stuck.
We were a little stuck,
Yeah.
and we just did what we had to do. But it really burned something in the back of my mind as like, hey, I'm going to solve this problem someday. Not right then.
Right.
I didn't have the means. I didn't have the time.
Yep.
But it put something in me that was like, hey, if we're having this problem, someone else must be as well. And so fortunate, almost 7 years later, to be able to buy the building at 3405, and the number one goal is to be the most flexible office space in Atlanta. So if you need a 1-year lease, if you need a 2-year lease, if you need a 5-year lease, we've got every flavor of lease starting at 1 year.
Yep.
And I think the market sub 1 year is already served perfectly by Atlanta Tech Village, WeWork, Industrious. I mean, there's plenty, right?
Yeah.
And so that market has plenty of options.
Saturated.
Plenty of options, and so the way we think about it is that there's a lot of businesses in those, and they're taking advantage of the popularity of that.
Yeah.
And now they still, before TechRise, didn't have a place to go and sign a 2-year lease. They essentially had to go and sign a 5 to 7 year lease. And so for us, we think it's kind of the next step for them is going to a building like TechRise. And look, we have tenants in the building that you've put in there that are, bunch of them, and they're all different sizes, right?
Yeah,
and
they are.
All different stages of business.
They are.
And some of them might be ready to graduate and move on to the next step. And we're excited to be an option for those kind of businesses.
Well, cool. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Thank you.